Do you do foot stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I suck toes.
Okay.
And I like my toes sucked. And I love giving foot jobs.
Okay.
And
I've
this is
never
all
given my
in
feet
real
are virgins.
life. Like, I'm not talking about porn anymore. This is like my own personal
And
sex.
okay,
life.
is it like when
Yeah.
because I've never
We
done
had a
like
foot guy on here a couple episodes ago.
my feet, I'm
was
saving
just-
my feet for marriage. Is there foot foreplay? Do you slowly seductively take your socks off?
Do you hand them a card that says circle yes or no? And then you come back?
Do you foot job to completion?
Slugs, Happy New Year. I have 3 shows left on this tour this month, January 7th. That's this week in San Jose, January 18th in Portland, and then I'll be in Seattle, January 26th. You can get tickets at esteroниce.com.
Hey Sluggies, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to perform for you. My set is so good, if I say so myself. A little cocky, but I think I've earned it. Come see me. You can see me next January 12th and 13th in Edmonton. You can see me February 16th and 17th in Denver, Colorado. Doing Annie Wood and Friends February 20th. February 21st and 22nd, I'm in Vancouver. March 1st and 2nd, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. I will be in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm coming back to New Mexico, guys. I'm so excited. That's March 8th and 9th. At the end of March, I'll be in Washington, D.C. And May 9th, I will be in Los Angeles at the Netflix is a Joke Festival. And then in June, end of June, I will be in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm sorry I had to change those dates. And you can see me every Thursday on Annie Wood. You guys, welcome back to Trash Tuesday.
Happy New Year.
It's New Year, baby. 2024.
This is our first episode of 2024, so we're very excited to be ringing in the new year with a guest we've been wanting for a really long time. Please welcome every girl's girl crush, Chloe Cherry.
Here she is.
Thank you.
So gorgeous.
Thank you.
Hotter in person.
Wow.
Hotter in person.
No, we were just saying that, like, in comedy, we don't really meet people as good looking as Chloe. So we're like really intimidated and just like excited. You know, she's like a foreign creature.
It's a creature we're not used to seeing.
But wouldn't you say there are infinitely more attractive female comics than there are men?
Yeah, and we're allowed to be.
totally.
Because we
Right?
have to be.
Yeah.
Really?
Not by
Totally.
choice.
It's almost like 9 out
Yeah.
of 10, really.
Wait, explain.
Like, because it's so hard to come by a good look. Like, I'm sorry, they're all fuggos.
Did you just
They're
watch
ugly.
Stavros' special? Is that what this is about?
No,
I'm just kidding. I love you, Stavros.
Of the male comics, I think Stavros
I
is
voted
the sexiest.
yes to banging you on Would You Bang Him before anyone was following
No,
you,
I have
Stavros.
vibes with Stavros.
Stavros
I
is
love
hot.
him.
But you already
Sorry.
know I like them portly, pleasantly plump, and mustached. So like
Mustache.
Oh, I love the
mustache.
mustache.
Yeah.
And
I'll
like
ask
slight
guys to get
receding
a
hairline.
mustache. Like, grow a mustache.
It's like a
Yeah.
cop thing. It's fun.
Oh, yeah.
For me, maybe.
Yeah.
Chloe was saying that she's ugly for porn.
Yeah. That like I was
What?
like ugly for porn. And I was really ugly for runway modeling. And really fat for runway
No,
modeling.
maybe fat, but not ugly.
Oh
All
my God.
runway models are
Dude,
ugly.
when-
No, you're so hot compared to runway models. Are if you look at them, you're like, oh, something's like there's like like an alien feature.
Yeah, they definitely have alien vibes.
Yeah, especially if it's like super high fashion, right? Like I can't like
Yeah.
you know just being very like prototypically like pretty and symmetrical. I just feel like it's like not interesting anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're so right.
I mean, not
yeah.
to like shit on like these gorgeously perfect specimens,
Totally.
but I
No,
don't
they deserve
find
it.
that they like they keep my interest
No.
like for very
Yeah.
long.
Do you think
Yeah.
plastic surgery is ever going to become like people getting filler in just one side of their face and like
I think you
trying
should
to make
try it.
exact-
like,
I think you should be the first.
2073.
do like a jacked like make yourself look asymmetrical instead?
I mean, look, I was born with beautiful asymmetry, so maybe this is my era.
Wait, so Chloe, so you like kind of started your entertainment career in porn
Mhm.
and then you were cast on Euphoria and so now you're acting exclusively. I saw you're doing
Yeah.
some indie films.
Yeah.
And so are you done with porn?
Yeah, I haven't shot a porn scene in over 2 years. Like I haven't been anywhere near the porn industry in over 2 years. I haven't been to like a porn event. I haven't shot a scene. I haven't like posted a nude. Like I haven't like done anything sex work related.
Was
in
that a
over
long
2 years.
deliberation, or was it like you woke up and you're like, I think I'm done with this?
Honestly, it was just because of the fact that like I believe that like sex work wasn't going to last for forever for me. So I was like, I might as well get out now rather than like, you know, eventually get to a point where like I'm just not able to like make money the same way I did at first. And like, I just wouldn't want to be like, I didn't want to be like scrambling at some point, you know. I just figured I might as well just like make the transition when I got the chance to, you know. And
it's
also
quite
like
a good
porn
option.
is like, it's super fun, but like, it's just very like physical, like, I don't know, like I was having sex last night and I was like, damn, I forgot how like hard porn was to like perform.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
you did
like,
extreme things. Like you
Yes,
did
totally.
gangbangs. You
Yes,
did
yes.
like I mean
Yeah,
the
I did
deep throat
everything.
stuff. Like the
Yes,
deep
yeah.
I can
I
honestly
did
it's like 2
crazy
inches
deep
in.
throating, like giant,
Yeah.
like mandingo. I don't know if you know who that is, but like
I do know. Yes.
big, yeah, like really like good at down there. And I loved it. And it was so cool to perform, and it was so cool for people to be like, whoa, wowzers.
Do you
Like,
have any?
you know?
Do you have any like bloopers of you just like throwing up on giant?
The Roman
But they
Roman
like that.
shower.
Those are
right?
not
Yeah.
bloopers.
They like that actually. Yeah, they like that. Cause I remember there was like, I think 2 scenes where I did that and they were like, yo, this is so hot. They're gonna love this. And I was like, okay. Cause usually like I would, if I was gonna do like a sucking thing, I would try to eat something like an apple before, something that doesn't look as gross being thrown up, in
That's
my
so
opinion.
funny.
I
Like
don't
not
know.
bologna or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Nothing
yeah.
like red colored.
And yeah, and then like
Beets.
the gangbangs were also like really cool, and like they were just like craziness, and like I don't know, sometimes I look back on that and I'm just like, whoa, like young people are like so horny, because like I just don't know if like I could keep up with my old self that way. And like there's plenty of like, you know, you guys had Angela White on, and like she to this day is like, she's been performing for so many years and she still does like all the hardcore stuff, but like I just feel like I'm just so like unlike athletic, you know, like I'm not athletic enough to like do porn for that long, I guess. I don't know what it just, I couldn't, my body just like, I couldn't keep up with that, like, cause it is like, it's like a sport. It's like,
That makes
you
sense to
know?
me because there's
Yeah.
a boxer. His name's Lennox Lewis, and I always admired him because when he won the heavyweight title, he was like, "I'm done with this. Like, I'm not gonna wait for another dude to completely like brain damage me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at the top of my game." But I kind of understand that because like porn, like this, I mean, the hardcore. It's like it's one thing to do a sweet little like, oh, I my stepbrother kind of
I did
like,
a
but
lot
the
of
stuff
that.
that you did was really Olympic level.
Totally. But I did both. I did a lot of the my stepbrother stuff, like a lot of that. And then I also would do like really crazy stuff. And like, honestly, like the crazy stuff, it just like pays more and it like gets you more popular. And like people that are like super into porn are like into like the insane stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I was like really looking to like, you know, make a name for myself, and I just kind of knew that's how I was going to do it. But it's so crazy how like nothing in real life will ever compare to like the sex that happens in porn. Like there's no way I could ever match that. Like I have never in my life had sex with somebody in real life and have them like match the energy of like Mick Blue or like these really popular like porn performers that like, you know, like just have been professionally for like 20 years, you know, like you'll never find that in real life.
And do
like,
guys want that from you? Like when you hook up with a guy for the first
No.
time, are they like expecting like a
no
crazy?
nothing. They
No.
expect literally nothing. Like I maybe I just like is the type of guys that I thought that was gonna happen. Like I thought like, oh well, since I do this stuff, like every guy is gonna like want to do this and stuff. But like most guys are just like super normal, and like
Yeah.
I have to like talk them into doing anal.
And you're one of
You're like,
you're
climb
one of
in.
talk them into doing anal is my dream. I could never. I'm always like reject. But you've talked about how there are people who are just born to do porn.
Yeah, totally.
And like when you were younger, you knew that this is what you wanted to
Yeah.
do. Was it because of the performance aspect of
I
it?
honestly think I just have like a sex obsession and something like I literally like if I wasn't an actress, I think I would be like a sexologist or something. Like I have a sex obsession. Like I would be like a sex therapist or something. Like I love sex and like I just like everything about it. Like I think it's just like the greatest thing ever. I just think that like some people, yeah, are just like born like being able to like perform in that way. And like so many people, like I remember when I first got in, were like, this is so insane that you're doing this. But like there's like, it's just kind of like, you know, like something that I always say is like, nobody chose to be born, and we definitely didn't choose to have to work to live. So a job should be all about what kind of day that you can get
Yeah.
through. And the kind of day that I could get through was like having hardcore sex, you know? Like that's the kind of day I could get through. Like I couldn't get through the days that I had and the jobs that I had before being a porn star. And then obviously like doing porn, like it really showed me how much I liked acting and stuff. And like now I like really just want to be an actor from now on. I just felt like, because for some reason I just had this desire to like do it. Because what I really liked about porn was that you got to have a lot of sex, but it took out all the personal stuff from it. Like you were having a lot of sex with attractive people that could like fuck really well, but you didn't have to like hit on them, you know, didn't have to rizz them up or whatever.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have to like
drama.
Yeah, and you didn't like there just wasn't like all this like complicated stuff. Like you didn't have to fall in love with them, even though I did all the time fall in love with the other actors.
Really?
Oh my God.
Would they get the vibe too?
Yeah, this one guy, I remember whenever we would do scenes together, we would like we would come on set, we'd lock eyes and be like, I miss you. And then we would run up to each other and like kiss each other. It was like he was my husband or something.
Oh my
but he
God.
wasn't my husband.
And you never had
That's
like
also just to clarify, that's not how you would act with a husband. I just want to make sure. I know you're young, but that's so hot.
It was really hot. I think about it all the time. Yeah.
And you guys never like dated off camera?
We would like off camera.
Yeah.
We never dated. I don't really like, I haven't been in like a monogamous relationship in like a long time. I like can't really like handle being monogamous. Like I like, it literally terrifies me, this idea of like, I'm just gonna like one person, and it's like,
Yeah, you
what do
sound like my
mean?
ex-boyfriend.
Have you always just been in like open relationships then?
Honestly, yeah. Like,
But you've been a boyfriend girl, right? You've always been in
I've
long-term
had a lot of
things.
like boyfriends and just like situationships and stuff like that. And like, I had like a girlfriend, and it was all of it was all like open. Like I've always had open relationships, and I think part of it was because I was in porn, and like they just didn't feel like it was fair that like I was fucking people, and that kind of just like. And then now that I'm out of porn and I haven't been in porn or any sex work in 2 years, like every person I see, I still can't be like, okay, I'm just having sex with you and like no one else.
Yeah.
Like, and it's weirdly gotten like worse since I've gotten out of porn. Like now, like I just fully like can't imagine being monogamous, and like it kind of drives people away, but I'm fine with it for now. I think one day I'll change, you know, one day I'll
Right.
be ready.
Also,
for
there's so
something
many
different.
people that are like poly and
But
Yeah,
I don't want to be
that's-
poly.
Yeah.
You don't wanna be poly.
I don't want to label it. I just want to
Yeah.
f around, you
Yeah.
know? Like I just want to, I don't know. Like I don't want to, I hate the idea of like labeling, like we're poly, like this is my primary partner. Like it just,
I know, and
so
then we're
cringe.
fluid bonding. That really makes me uncomfortable, that term.
I think the
Whoa.
problem I really
Ooh, I don't know
had,
what that is.
Nasty.
problem I have being single is that like it's really hard for me to have just casual sex. One night stands are just not something that I
Yeah.
ever found like it didn't seem fun. Like if I didn't have an initial connection with someone, if there isn't like some type of like mutual liking, like I'm out. There has many romances are fine. Like when you have sex for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, like those situations,
Yeah.
situationships. But outside of that, like hookup culture is weird to me.
I feel like I could not survive a 3-week thing because I'd be like, so we're just walking away after 3 weeks. Like I would be so chemically bonded.
Really?
That I like that thought also freaks me out. I don't
Or
know.
they do something so icky that it takes you out of the chemical. I've had that happen where you're like, oh, nope, this is done.
I think for me, it's because
Yeah.
the first time you
You're
have
like-
sex with someone is hard. It's rarely ever that great. Like there is some type of like learning curve.
Yeah,
So it's like I want to
totally.
hit that peak before I exit.
But I've had a
I-
guy where like he's like the sex is like really good and crazy, and he's like spitting in my mouth, and it's like insane. And then he's like, it's 3 weeks later, and he wants to come to a show, and he's like trying to be funny, and I'm like, why are you talking to Kyle Kinane? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm so embarrassed, you know. And then I'm like, I gotta go.
I'm still so turned off by men that are too good at sex. Like that's not like that's feminine to me. I don't know. I don't like it. It's not your. this
What's
isn't-
too good at sex? Like describe what too good at sex is.
It's just like they're too competent. They know their way. Like I'm
They're
like,
not clunky. There's no
or
awkward.
like you always say, like if you're hooking up with a guy and you could tell he's using moves from the last girl, it's just like let's start fresh, a clean slate. And you're right, like the first time with a new partner is never that good, but that freaks me out because I'm like, isn't the first time like the only time guys like it with you? Like,
Totally. Oh my God,
because
yes.
once guys have had sex with you, they're like, okay, time to kill her.
Totally.
Time to kill
Like
her.
that's what the
Yeah.
cavemen
accurate.
do.
And you can't really, when you're dating someone, you can't be like, I'm waiting. They want to fuck right away, right? You
I
can
mean,
be
no,
like,
I want to fuck right
Yeah.
away because like I just like, what the fuck am I doing? Just like hanging out with some man that's like I have male friends that like I don't fuck, but like
Right.
I'm not just gonna like hang out with just some guy and just like wait to fuck them.
I've
like,
never been able to. It never
yeah,
makes any
no, no way.
sense.
Like if I'm attracted to you, like I want to fuck you right away to like figure out
If I
like
like
if I
you,
like you,
yeah.
because like I get sex and love confused. I kind of like it.
And it's working.
I think sex and love, I'm trying to think of where I stand on that. Because initially, okay, so I want to fuck him as soon as I see him,
Yeah.
of course, and
Yeah.
if there's
Yeah.
an initial connection. But I think I do wait it out just because I like the suffering of it all. Not even for him, but for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm never like an everyday sex kind of girl. Like even though I could and it's probably pleasurable, I want to like build up and like edge out till I'm like feeling the suffering and I have like my own version of blue balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
Right?
That's cool.
I can't believe that you want that.
Why?
It makes it hot.
It yeah.
I feel like
It's
that
like
would be really hot.
It's like
yeah.
withheld.
Yeah, but I'm more like on her thing of like, well, let's just go.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you know, you know.
How fun is
Totally.
it though
But
when
I
it's like a
do-
coworker or something you can't tell anyone? That's like the hottest. When you're like, no one can know.
That's
the
me.
best
Well, that's
sex.
me and Dave. No one can know. We have that. We have that down pat. Now, I also read in an interview that you said that like one day you want to write a memoir, and I feel like all of us girlies like have that in us in the back of our head. But I'm
Yeah.
just curious, like, is there any certain subject? Like, I'm just curious, what would the Chloe Cherry memoir? what
I
would some
think
of
I
the
want to
tea
like
be?
really, really, really deeply get into like what got me on Euphoria, because there's this misconception that because I made a Euphoria porn parody that's what got me cast on Euphoria, and that doesn't make any sense to me because like why would someone watch a porn parody and be like, oh, they should be in the real thing? Because
Right.
like I also did like parodies of like so many other things like that 70s show, and they weren't like, oh, let's like
Yeah.
I don't know, but like, and I actually made the porn parody myself. I produced it myself, but I made it after I had already gotten cast on the show because I just like was like, oh, like I might as well like do this because like I don't know, I just thought it would be cool, and like I didn't think it was going to become such a big thing, but like that's how everything is, you know.
You did it
You don't-
after you were cast on the show?
after I was cast
Oh,
on
that's
the
so
show.
annoying. And then
I
everyone
already-
says the opposite?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. And the way I
infuriating.
got cast on Euphoria was Sam Levinson. He like found my Instagram and like my Instagram stories. Like I used to be like before I was on Euphoria and like when I had like less followers, like I used to be like very like I would constantly like make these like little videos that where I would like just tell jokes or like I would post memes and like I would just have like a crazy Instagram story, and he was like really intrigued by that. So they just sent me the audition, and I remember Sam Levinson on set told me that like I made this video where I was like sitting in the mall and I was like looking to the side at people like this, and he said that he just loved my eyes and thought they were perfect, and like that's how I got cast on the show. That's what Sam Levinson tells me. And like also I know it wasn't from the Euphoria porn parody because I was cast before I had made that,
Right.
you know? And so I don't know where the fuck people got that idea, like who made that up, but like I don't know. It's scary having people like perceive you
The
like
narratives that are around, and
Yes.
you never can really control them. It's
totally.
Like so hard,
It's
yeah.
so weird. Yeah, exactly.
And they love doing it. It's
There's
like people
no
are
way
just
to-
like sleuthing.
And I
They're
just like, I'm like, who is like out here like coming up with these things and just like, why are they so correct to people? And like, I don't know. And I feel like every podcast I go on, I tell the story that like I made the porn parody after I had already been cast on the show to celebrate being cast on the show.
Which is also weird. It's also a weird move. I like
hopefully
it
you
though.
do a Trash Tuesday porn parody
Yeah.
after this.
She's out of the game though.
Yeah.
How would you say like your life has changed since then? And obviously it sounds like you like since then you quit porn, but
Mhm.
also like I don't know, do you go back to Lancaster where you're from, and like what's that like being like on the biggest TV show like of the current generation?
I mean, I do go back to Lancaster because like my parents still live there and I like to see them. And It's fine. Like, it's literally never anything crazy. The only thing that's bad is that, like, sometimes I'll be out and, like, I'll see, like, people that, like, I went to school with, and they'll just be, like, staring at me.
That's so funny. Does that feel a little good though?
No, not at
No.
all, because they creep me out. I don't know why.
They're like, that's the girl that used to do the announcements, used to do your school announcements,
Yes,
right?
yeah, exactly.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
How did you start doing the announcements in your school?
I knew this teacher. My favorite teacher in the school was a guy who, like, ran the morning announcements, and I just asked him one day, I was like, can I do the morning announcements? And he was like, yeah. And but then eventually I, like, stopped because I started, like, smoking weed in the mornings.
They were too slow.
I just would, like, show up to school too late.
Yeah.
Like, by the time but yeah, that was pretty irresponsible of me. But yeah, it was kind of weird going back to Lancaster, and, like, I don't know, like, and then people will all the time, like, say that they went to school with me and that they had class with me. Like, I see that all the time. Like, you know, I'll read, like, my comments, who will be like, oh, I had class with her, and, like, I'll click on the profile, I'll be like, I've never seen you in my life. But that's kind of weird about going to Lancaster, that a lot of people, like, claim that they, like, knew me, or, like, they'll claim these, like, different stories about me, that, like, they had hooked up with me, or, like, whatever.
yeah.
And, like, they'll say all these things. And but other than that, like, going back to Lancaster is fun. Like, I still have, like, one friend there who was, like, my best friend growing up, and she's still there, and she's amazing. And Lancaster, for the most part, is pretty fun to go back to. There's great thrifting.
So I had heard on an interview that you did that a lot of, like, your friends that you were friends with in high school when you started doing porn were like, you ruined your life. And
Not a lot of them. It was just one girl. This girl that, like, was always, like, really, really weird. And, like, I was kind of just friends with her because, like, we were friends when we were younger. And then, like, you know, like, you don't, I'm the kind of person that, like, I don't want to, like, abandon a friend just because they're being crazy and a weirdo. But, like, yeah, she, like, said this whole thing where she was like, you know, you're never going to be able to have a husband or children or anything. And, like, and it was just weird because, like, I don't know, I've had plenty of guys, like, be like, let's get married, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it stopped me from literally anything. And I just find it so odd that she said that. But I really think that she said that because, like, she, when we were growing up, always said that she was going to be a model, and then she never became a model. And I think that she was, like, jealous that, like, I actually went for something like that instead of just, like, being too scared. I don't know.
And also now you are a model.
I know
Yeah.
you're all of the things.
Yeah.
Is there any part of you that's like showed her, you just don't even think about her anymore?
I mean, I've honestly felt really bad for her for a lot of, like, I still feel bad for her, but, you know, I think she was just kind of, like, jealous and just kind of wanted to hurt me. But I like, my best friend growing up, Lizzie, like, she literally, like, was the one who gave me money to get a cab to go to the airport to first go shoot porn. Like, she believed in me so much. And I remember the night that before I left to go to Miami to, like, shoot my first porn, she was like, hey, look at Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
That's such a good friend.
That is
I
a good
know.
friend.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, my, like, actual close friend, like, she, like, and then, like, most of my friends I, like, still talk to occasionally, you know? They were mostly completely accepting of it. A lot of them thought it was cool. It was just this one girl that I was friends with that, like, was so horrible about it, and, like, I don't know why.
When you were little, did you ever imagine being a movie star?
Yeah, but I honestly didn't think that I was, like, attractive or talented enough for that. Like, I thought that, like, for some reason I was like, okay, I'm good enough for pornography, but I didn't think I was good enough for, like, modeling. Cause, like, I guess growing up, like, people weren't, like, talking about how I was hot. Like, it wasn't like no one, I don't know, like, it just wasn't, like, a thing of me being attractive. So
Well,
I just
they were all
assumed.
Amish, so they were making jam. They were churning butter, bitch. They were busy. They
Yeah.
were looking at you.
But, like, I just never really thought I was, like, just, like, hot or cool enough, you know? I don't know. So,
Do
like,
you think you're hot and cool enough now?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm just about hot and cool enough.
Great.
Just about. I love that.
Do you have any imposter syndrome or anything?
Oh
or do
my
you feel
God,
like-
yes.
Yeah.
I, like, every time I'm on a plane, I cry because I just am so nervous about my life and people perceiving me and my future and stuff.
Wait,
And for some reason
explain
on a
that.
plane, it's because I can't distract myself with, like, my friends or the internet. So I'm just, like, there on the plane, and I just I'm like watching the Barbie movie and then I just start like crying because I just think about like I have horrible imposter syndrome. Like I constantly think that like everything's just gonna like crumble down and people are just gonna, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like it's just so hard for
That's
me
so
to like believe.
relatable,
Not
though,
having
especially when
Wi-Fi,
you.
that really comes
Yeah,
out for
Totally.
everyone.
But you can buy. I pay $50 a month subscription, and I am on the internet the second I can be on a
Try
plane.
Hawaiian Airlines.
they
They
don't
don't
have
have
But
it.
sometimes it doesn't even work.
Yeah,
Like,
when
it doesn't
sometimes I have
work,
the
it's
internet
rough.
and it
If it's
doesn't
over
work.
water, it will not work unless
Yes,
you know.
yeah.
But that's so relatable because I feel like it's really only until you've hit a certain goal that you really start to feel the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Like you go from like delusion, thinking, "Oh, I deserve this. I can get this. I'm
Yes.
entitled to this," and then you get it, and you're like, "I don't deserve this. Everything's gonna come down.
And then more
I'm gonna
things keep
lose
coming.
it
You're
all."
like, oh my god, more and more
Yeah,
and more.
Totally. And then the more that people perceive you, like the more opinions are
Yes.
said about you and the more that it like fucks with your
Yeah.
brain. Cause like you're always like the subject of discussion to people and like especially in like certain like scenes and stuff. Like it's just weird. Like it just I don't know, it messes with your perception and it's like
What's the one thought or the one like, you know, it's one thing when you've done porn for so long and people talk to you a certain way or about you a certain way, which you're used to, right? They'll say everything they want, call you this, call you that, but like what is the one thing after you started on Euphoria that made you like really insecure? Like, is my acting good? Is
Yeah.
what were you feeling the imposter syndrome over?
just like if I even have a good enough personality to be anything close to a celebrity, you know? Like
What an interesting thought, because it's like, aren't you all just like every celebrities are? You don't have to have anything good to be one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Aren't you
but-
supposed to like show the director that you can be nothing? You're like, I'm supposed to show you I can have no personality in this moment and take on your personality that you've written.
yeah, that's an angle, I guess.
But you know what also is interesting? I feel like some actresses are like, oh, I hope it doesn't all my acting doesn't fall apart and I have to do
Totally.
porn. And you're like, you've
Oh.
reversed it. So now you kind of
Yeah.
can only go, you can, not that porn's down, but it's like,
Totally. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? You started at like a high.
I've never heard of an actor be like, I would do porn if I
Either. And I think that might
now
be
that I'm
so
thinking about it,
funny.
I also have not heard of that.
that
so.
might be your plan.
That might be my plan. That might be where I'm headed. There's one thing that you've done a couple videos on, which I'm so envious of because I think it's fucking genius because it's so regular, and that's peeing in public.
Oh, I love
What?
peeing in public.
And it's because I have so many friends
Did
that
it the
just
other
pee
day.
in public. Like, you know, we have Jenna and she's
Yeah.
like, film me. And I'm like, she did it.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Chloe is the renegade in this. Like, she has
that
really
was like my
done it.
entire OnlyFans was me peeing in public
That's so
Like,
funny.
what do you mean? Like, just on the side of the road, or like,
or anywhere.
Literally anywhere,
Anywhere.
different styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different angles.
Uh-huh.
Anywhere. And people loved it. They loved it.
and you don't do OnlyFans anymore?
No.
I mean,
That's
if you were to go back, I
restraint.
think that's,
I could
I think
do
you could
probably
She's
just,
gonna have to
just
poop in
pee.
public now.
No. I wouldn't, that's disgusts me more than anything, but I think pee is hot. And
yes.
I
Well, it's sterile, right?
Do you-
Getting out of you.
Are you a golden shower girly?
I honestly like every dude that I have fucked in like the past 2 years has been like so vanilla they would never do that.
Yeah.
Like the guy that I like dated for the longest, like I would ask him to do that and he'd be like, no, what the fuck? And then but like I feel like I would, but like
It seems warm. It seems like of all the things, it would be like.
But
not
okay,
that.
speaking of piss, once and for all, I know you've already said this in another interview, but like I need you to demystify squirting and tell the world what it
Okay.
is.
Well, every time that I demystify squirting, and then I like, there's always like a Reddit thread that comes up where they're like, Chloe Cherry's just jealous that she doesn't squirt. And it's like, no, like I did porn. Like I worked with people that were like very famous for squirting in the industry. And I would watch them like drink a bunch of water, like Pedialyte was what they really
Interesting.
liked. And like that's how they would get those like big squirts. And like, isn't it like, doesn't it just feel like logical that like you would have to drink a lot of water for that? That like your body isn't just, that it's not, but that's how it works in
but you're
porn.
I
saying it's
squirt
just urine,
sometimes.
right?
In porn it is, but like your body could like squirt, but it's not going to be like the way in porn it's like,
Where it's
Right.
yeah, like
Oh.
giant,
It like water.
spray.
It like
Totally,
yeah.
that's not the way that like real
It's like the
just
sprinkler that
because
kids
like your
jump through when
pussy
they're
can be like so wet and juicy that it like squirts a little bit, but like it's not going to be like big.
I've squirted
like,
where it's like you're
spray.
in a huge puddle. And
Wait,
it's
you really
crazy.
have?
Yes.
What- and
and I
does it-
don't. It's not like consistent. It's just sometimes. But I also cannot come if I have to pee. So it's like, so I don't know where the squirting comes in.
Totally. I just guess the reason I always say that about squirting is because that's what everybody did in the industry was they would have to like drink a bunch of water. Like no one just like came to set and was like just spraying
It's
this
pretty
squirt
rough.
everywhere.
It's pretty
you know?
rough.
I don't
It's
know.
hard. It's a hard life. You got to bring quarters for people to do their laundry. It's like,
What is the history of
leaving a
squirting? Like,
mess.
when did it first like appear in porn?
I think it's I don't know when it first appeared in porn. I'm pretty sure it was like the 2010s, but don't like take my word for it. But like what the reason why men like it is because like men that watch porn tend to like not really like men that watch like a lot of porn and like that's where like they basically like they don't really like have sex in real life. They just kind of watch porn. Like they don't really comprehend the idea of like coming without something spraying out.
yeah, they can't understand.
So like they like don't comprehend the idea that like a woman could just like come and like nothing sprays out of her because like when they come something sprays out of them. So like they don't understand that like a woman could come and like nothing sprays out.
So it's
you
probably
know?
attached to their ego too.
Yeah, totally.
To be like, well, if this is what I've seen women can do, like let me get you there. And it's like my body doesn't do that. I mean, I can just pee all over you if that's what you want. Then
I
Yeah,
think I'm having
totally.
a pregnancy aversion to Annie's squirt. Like it's triggering my acid reflux. The thought of it.
Triggers Todd's too.
So are we still undecided on whether or not like I don't know, like
I
there
don't
has
feel
to
it's pee, I'll say. When it happens, it doesn't feel like the same as pee.
Really? So you're like
Yeah.
our evidence here. Like
It just doesn't look this. I don't know. I've never tasted pee or my squirt, but I'll investigate. I
But
just never know when it's
do-
gonna happen. I
In
don't know.
porn, they like drink a bunch of water to do it.
Yeah.
So like when you're watching porn,
I'll
like
try. I'll investigate.
Well,
I mean,
the
there's,
porn
like-
stuff is like otherworldly. Like they're spraying the whole room, and it's like every 5
Exactly.
seconds.
Yes,
And
literally.
anytime they tap it, it's like
yes,
an explosion.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like that's like you have to like drink a lot of water and like pee. Cause like I used to do squirting scenes and like
Yeah.
I would just drink a ton of water and like, yeah, it's but like I have seen like Riley Reid squirts for real, but it's literally like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, like I don't
Yeah.
know.
The first time I squirted, I was in a hotel room that had a hot tub in it. So maybe my pussy like kegeled it in. maybe I
It's
absorbed
just,
it in.
like really humid in the room, and you were moist.
And then you have I've heard you talk about anal orgasms.
Yeah.
And how you describe it actually makes sense to me. No one has ever described it before in this way, where you're basically just hitting the G spot, but from a different angle, right?
Yeah. It's like from the other, like your G spot is like deep in your pussy, and then like if you can get in your ass, like you can hit the G spot from the other way.
So it's like a deeper prostate, basically.
Yeah, kind of like that. And I've heard that like some people, like, because your G spot can be positioned in like different places depending on like the person. And I've heard that like for some people it like hits more than others, and like I don't know, it's different for everybody, you know.
Does anyone have theirs in their throat? They just come
Is that
when
where
they're
yours are?
choking- when they're blowing guys.
I have a question going back to the pee. So you don't like poop because one of my friends.
I hate poop. I'm scared
my
of poop.
boyfriend.
Don't
My
bring
friend's
poop out.
boyfriend wanted pictures
They
of
bring
her
it out.
pooping.
They have it on a tray. They're like, "Oh, you're grossed out by this."
I'm a very anti-poop girl too.
I hate poop.
I don't admit to doing
I hate
it in
when
front of
people
my
poop
partner.
in my house, no matter like who they are. Like even if it's my mom, I'm just like, don't poop in my house.
if-
Like no one's no.
Oh,
If I'm in a
door
hotel room
open,
with a
eye
boy,
contact.
I go down to the lobby to use the bathroom.
Yes.
I do not go
Wait,
in
my
the
parents
room.
won't let me poop in our house, but it's because there's a sewage issue. And my dad recently, the last 2 trips home, has asked me if I could save my poop for when I go to a gas station. I'm like, Dad, I'm pregnant. Like, this is
Yeah.
not sustainable.
Yeah, no, I'm door open, eye contact. I like watching my man poop. We have bidets.
Really?
It's nice and
I
clean.
mean, I don't really mind someone else doing it in front of me. Like, just me personally, like I'm so shy
Every-
about it.
Ugh,
Every
yeah.
guy I've dated in the past like 10 years has had to take a shit on our first date in my apartment. It's like
Oh
crazy.
my god!
It's
One
like,
time I had a guy
every
over
time.
to fuck, and he comes in. He's like, "Hey," and he goes, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick," and then he is in there for a long time, and then like he opens the door and it like smells. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh, he
it's,
took
like,
a
so
shit," and I
bad.
literally was just like, "You have to go home."
Yeah.
Send him home.
Yeah, I sent him home.
I
Like, you have to
hear
go
about
home.
this on first dates, and I'm like, you gotta just call the date. Like, you can't do that. Why?
Yes.
Who are these people?
Todd did that and we
Why
did
don't you
not
just
hook
do
up.
an enema before every date?
We did.
Like, what, are they that competent? What
Normalize
is it?
enemas, man. Normalize
Yes.
enemas. They probably think it's gay.
Yes.
They're like, it's gay to do an enema.
Oh, I love an enema.
I always used
I
to feel
love it.
bad about. I used to feel bad for the girls that would have to poop at the club. Like, you ever go to a club, you go to the restroom, and someone is like struggling, and you're
But
like, of
here's the
all the
thing.
fucking places, like, it couldn't happen before.
They're sloppy. That's a sloppy move. That means they didn't like shit
Time
enough
it.
before they went out.
Yeah.
Or they did a lot of cocaine.
Oh,
really?
Yeah,
Does that make you
makes a
shit?
lot of
Yeah.
sense. A stimulant, any stimulant will make
Yeah.
you poop, like coffee.
But
Well,
yeah.
no wonder I can't relate.
But why is it so bad to do it at the club? Like,
You look so pretty. You're so dolled up. You're like,
Can you
just
imagine
glam.
Esther's legs like dangling under the thing as she poops?
It
at the
makes
club?
me
5 more
sad.
minutes.
You're
it-
wearing like cute club
That's what I'm
shoes.
I brought
saying,
my,
like,
my purse turns into a squatty potty when I flip it over.
It makes
You have
me
a squatty potty in your purse.
It makes me sad to think of myself getting so glammed up, putting in all that effort, choosing the right shoes, and then realizing like, oh fuck, I have to take a shit in like this public bathroom.
I could not disagree more. It's like that is such a bonus to your night. Like now I'm gonna feel better. Like I'm gonna be
The poop
lighter.
girls are on the couch. These are the pee girls. Pee versus poop. That's this episode, guys.
I definitely
Please don't call it that.
I promise not put poop in the title for
No,
you.
I do want to clarify. I am also afraid of poop. Like that's obviously such a
Yes.
scary thing. Like
All
if
right,
you're-
I'm poop. I'm poop. You guys are pee.
like when you have, when you do it in the back space.
Oh my! Listen.
I'm scared of residue.
Okay, when I did anal, it was like a to-do. I did it with one guy. I'm not an anal girl. Maybe in the future, but as of now, not. It was such a to-do with this guy that I was calling all my gay friends. I was calling porn stars. They were so over me. They were like, "This is so embarrassing to ask." It's like if someone asked us like how to start doing comedy, like, "Where do you do your first open mic?" I'm like, "How do you do anal?" This girl was like, "We're done." I ate soup for breakfast. I did an enema. The guy that I was living with needed to come up. I had to buzz him in, so I took the enema and then he did the buzzer, and I had to like cut my ass and like run to the door
Oh.
and then come back. It was wild. It was wild, and I did not shit on his ass.
I feel like if you're doing
Nice.
anal prep, it's like the night needs to go on your time. Like
Yeah.
he can wait. He needs to wait at the door.
It wasn't. We knew what was happening. No, that's the different guy. That was like my
Oh.
roommate. And then I was
Oh.
going to like the hotel. He got a hotel. It was like an anal hotel. We wanted an anal-cation.
hotel?
Can you
An
name a couple
anal-cation.
anal hotels? Is it Hyatt an anal hotel?
I don't remember what it was, but it was near the bus. I was going to see my nieces, and I would take the bus to Boston from New York. So he got a hotel near the bus. It was like very sweet. He was a gentleman. And so then I'm on the phone with my friend and on the bus, like, and I'm trying to be quiet, but I'm so loud. And I'm like, and then he fucked me in the ass and I like did this enema. And I'm like telling the whole anal story. I get to my sister-in-law. I would meet my sister-in-law at her work. She's like, works at this bank and fraud. Like she's like a big deal and it's a very proper place. And I get there and she goes, one of my employees just asked if you were on the Bolt bus because her sister was sitting in front of you and heard everything you said.
Annie,
Oh my gosh.
you had that full conversation.
But I feel like
on
it's
the bus.
more embarrassing for her to have like eavesdropped, unless you were really just announcing it to the whole.
I don't know.
You know.
I don't know my volume.
I
We
think
tried.
if I will say, if you got to eavesdrop on that kind of conversation on a bus,
It's juicy.
you are lucky.
Yeah,
juicy.
You
I
lucky.
loved it.
leaned
It was
in all the
perfect.
way.
The whole thing was very good.
I want to
It
get
was
back to anal
perfect.
hotels. Can we agree Hilton Hyatt anal hotels?
Yes.
Any boutique family owned bed and breakfast, not anal hotels.
I don't know. It's nice to have a nice home cooked meal afterwards.
No, but you want a hotel where you can like call down on the front desk and like 24 hours.
Yeah, you can
someone's
leave
there.
100. You can leave them like, look, I made a mess. But it's like you're not usually making a mess.
No,
You can-
no. I've never had like
But
a
you
messy
just-
anal experience.
You want extra towels when you need them. You want room
Yeah.
service. You might be sore or whatever.
Do you guys ever take Imodium?
Only if
No.
it's intractable diarrhea and I'm on my 6th day of like death.
Oh wow.
But that's the lube.
I take Imodium every time I do anal.
Just
Yeah,
so you make
just in
sure it's
case.
not.
Yeah,
It's like
'cause it stops
stops
and
it
then I
all.
like enema a lot and
Right.
it works.
And
Do
then
you
are you
take
kind of
it?
like, are you like stuffed up afterwards?
Like
Does it push it up?
constipated afterwards?
No.
Because my
And then
sister-in-law
I-
had to make me, she had to make me chili, and then my niece came up to me and she's like, "Here, auntie, my mom told me to give you a prune." It was so cute.
Aww.
I got fudge packed.
Ugh, triggering conversation for the pregnant lady.
Okay,
Just
yeah,
don't
we can get off the
picture
poop
it.
train.
Don't picture it.
No, I've been doing. Have you done a suppository? It's like
vaginal, not anally.
oh,
Okay.
way to one up me. But like you stick something up your butt and then it like triggers, and then that's
Then
when
you start pulsing.
it kind of I don't know why, but it just
and it's
like
all greasy.
It is always very greasy.
it's
They
a
usually add a
little
lot of
It's
oil.
greasy.
grease.
I
It's a
wasn't-
tablet of grease.
Yeah, because they have suppositories for hemorrhoids. They
Oh,
have
maybe you have a
the one
different
that I
kind.
take is Canesa, which we did on the live show. I put a suppository up
you
my
did.
butt.
I don't remember that.
And he blacked it out. 'Cause
I was blackout drunk from my belly button. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with my relationship with suppositories right now. I had a great morning.
What kind of suppositories do you take?
So it's the brand Fleet. And
Fleet
it's,
rules.
Yeah.
you know it?
Yeah,
Why do
They're
you know it?
enemas.
Crazy.
I
Yes,
always
they do
have their enemas at home.
Fleet enemas.
Yeah.
You're
they're the
not
best
alone,
enemas.
Esther. I'm with you. I see you. I see you.
Way to branch out, Fleet.
I see your
Good
fleet.
job.
Oh, I'm like, they've changed my life.
I have a fleet fetish.
I do too. I really do.
Do you do foot stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I suck toes,
Okay.
and I like my toes sucked, and I love giving foot jobs.
Okay.
And
I've
this is
never
all
given my
in
feet are
real life.
virgins.
Like, I'm not talking about porn
Right.
anymore. This is like my own personal
and
sex life.
okay, is it
Really?
like when
Yeah.
okay, because I've never
We had
done
a
like
foot guy on here a couple episodes ago.
my feet, I'm
was
saving
just-
my feet for marriage, but
Okay.
but do you like is it like when you go to give a blowjob and you kind of like kiss down the do you kind of like run your toes down their waist and like
No, I'm pretty
is there
like,
foreplay? Is there foot foreplay?
I think maybe because I did so much porn, I'm kind of just straight to the chase. I'm like, do you want a foot job? Sit down.
Do you slowly seductively take your socks off?
Wait,
Do you
I-
hand them a card that says circle yes or no? And then you come back?
do you foot job to completion?
It's pretty hard.
Yeah,
to
that
do.
would
You
be
have to be like
crazy.
really into feet to do that. So I think I did like in porn, but I don't think I have like in my personal life done foot job to completion.
The old
Usually
sticky
it's just
toes.
like a fun little thing that
Can
you
I
do.
can I pitch you a title for your memoir?
Yeah.
Chloe pops your cherry.
Yeah, I have an idea for it. I'm not going to share it, but I'm thinking of it in my head right now and it's a good idea.
Okay. I feel rejected, but it's okay.
Look, you make pitches in life.
I
and
know.
Keeps you strong.
Keeps you strong. You can't ever be rejected by
Chloe, you're a collage artist, right? Or you're just
Yeah.
a performance artist. You're an everything artist.
Yeah, I'll do anything honestly to be creative cuz like when I get bored or like sad, I just want to like be creative. And I did a different interview this morning and they were talking about my rapping on SoundCloud and I was like, I don't even think I'm good. I don't know, it's just something to do, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why it's on SoundCloud and not Spotify. And then I do make the collages, which I think are better than the rapping. It's like objectively better. But still, like I haven't made one in a while because I also like don't really. I also have imposter syndrome with that, where I'm like, there's no way I could be an artist, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I heard you saying you were like, I wish I could just sell my collages as
Yeah.
a job.
I wish that I could like I didn't have to like constantly be like getting like doing auditions and like
Yeah.
you know getting rejected or like you know getting the role or like you know like I wish that like my collages sold for like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Like that's what I wish was going on. You know?
I feel the same way because I draw and it's like
Yeah.
sometimes like with comedy, it's like it's just never ending. Like Esther knows it's like we make our set and then there has to be a new set and then it's like it's
Yeah.
always like growing and evolving. So there's never really like an end to anything. And sometimes like I was doing this festival in Vegas and I was on Fremont Ave and I was like watching like the Tin guy and I was like, who by the way inspired my outfit. But I'm like, I picked something too hard. I was like, I could just be there's like a guy like weaving things together and selling them. I was like, why am I not just weaving something? I would love to just like
Totally.
draw and sell
I know
that.
like
Yeah.
sounds so much more meditative than
Yeah.
what we do.
But don't you think it would turn into the same thing? I think
Everything.
that it would be the
Totally.
same
Yeah.
thing. Then it would be like
Totally,
it's too hard to
totally,
create
yeah.
art. And
yeah.
But I feel really similarly to you where it's like it doesn't need to be good. Like I just do it. I need to when I'm bored or sad or alone, like I need to do something creative to express myself. And I found that I I think a lot of us judge ourselves where it's like, well, it's not good or no one's going to see this. So why am I writing it? And I just am really working on getting those voices out of my head because it is sort of just to stay afloat, to just get things out is really good. And also like my fiance and I get into this like argument a lot. So like if we ever do like a craft, not to flex, but like, so we were making stockings for the holidays and
You are really you're nesting.
I know. I don't know how this happened, but he was like,
they're fishnets, we find out.
it's for our anal occasion. He was like, your color palette, like he was just like nitpicking my color palette. He's like, you're gonna I go really fast when I do it and sloppy. And he's like, it's supposed to be neat and cute. And I'm like, no, it's supposed to be like
different lives,
fun.
baby.
Well, that's that's the entire book of like Rick Rubin, right? Like where he's basically like the reason he's so good at his job and has produced like, you know, iconic albums is because he doesn't care about what people like. He only trusts what he likes. So it's like for him, it's like real like artists, it's like you've just got to like what you put out.
Yeah.
Like without even thinking about
you're a real artist and Dave's a fake one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're the real
Guys,
artist.
comment below.
But
Team Esther or Dave.
Dave is also making what he likes, probably more better than I am. So
yeah, better. Let's be more better this year. I want to let you know she was sick a while ago and isn't still sick.
Yeah, I was sick like weeks ago. It was just a common cold. I got tested for everything. It was just a common cold.
I told her ahead of time that you've been cursed with COVID. So
I've never had COVID in my life.
What?
Yep.
What is your blood type? Like
I don't know.
Sparkly diamond. The fuck? Oh my god.
Oh my god, don't put that banana there. You're making us funny.
You're making us look
She's
bad.
like, oh my god, too hot, Chloe Cherry, too hot. I can't believe you didn't know you were hot.
Honestly, I still don't know. No one will
She's
ever
our
convince
me.
Wait,
I knows. Do you know now?
do know now that I'm hot. Yeah, it took
Sometimes
a while.
it's
You're
crazy.
really
like,
hot.
Thank you.
Crazy.
Like,
It's
super
crazy.
hot.
Thank you. Thank you. We had dinner at Pache, Yumi and Sawyer.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting down and Sawyer's like, come on in. I'm having a meeting with someone, but just come in, drop. And as soon as I saw it was you, I was like, oh my God. I was like, I can't even look her way right now. I swear to God. Do you remember that?
Yeah, totally.
And I
Did you go in the bathroom and bleach your
I was
asshole real
nervous
quick?
to meet you. I was like, she's too cool for me.
Yeah, but we didn't say a single word to each other. I think that's what happens where I'm like, oh God, like it's the same reason like how I don't know how to flirt with boys I actually like.
Yes,
but I know how to effectively flirt
Oh my God,
with,
I was just talking about that with my friend. Yeah, that like ugly guys, like you can just like throw game at them, but then
all
like guys
day
who actually
long.
like you just completely ignore and just like
I've never like I'm like you can't. If a guy thinks they can have me, I'm like I don't know how to.
If I think a guy's hot, I mute him on Instagram and never talk to him.
100%. 100%.
I literally always say the first night I met Dave, when I saw him, my first thought was that guy's hot. I need to stay away from him. I need to hide.
Yeah, I think something short circuits in our brains where it's like it's almost like I cannot stand the thought of possibly desiring this person and handle the rejection of it all. So it's like, how about I just like delete him from my head?
Well, also,
or I
it's
don't
like
trust myself. I'll fuck it up.
With an ugly guy, you're like, it's like I can write this off of my taxes. You're gonna be so grateful, and then you like date them and they're so mean to you, and you're like, oh wait, my bad.
Wait, that is so true, by the way, because they're always like,
oh shit, I thought this was gonna be really easy. You fucking
no, because you're like, oh wait, I'm so much cuter than you. You're gonna be really nice to me. No, not all the time.
Yeah,
mean to me.
Have you ever had like a boyfriend or like some guy that you're like just seeing or whatever, and like you like can very much objectively tell like he's like less attractive than you, but he's like so fucking sure that he's like hot.
Yeah,
that would piss me off to no end.
Yes, that's like. Yeah, I feel like every guy that I date, they're just like, I mean, I'm really attractive, so like I always get this female attention. I'm like, what are you? Okay, sure.
And then you have to like
Confidence is
dig,
key.
and then to like tell him the truth, you'd have to be like, well, I was actually doing kind of like a low self-esteem thing where I was like trying to get you to like put me on a pedestal, and then you have to like admit too much.
Wait, is that a really unfair question to ask your partner? Like, who do you think the hot one is in the relationship?
I am gonna ask that in my next relationship.
Yeah, I
do
really
that
am
every
curious
time,
to know.
Kayla. I've done that many times.
And the answer is, if it's not you,
There's
you should
one
start
answer,
a fight, right?
The one answer is that you are. Like,
yeah, of course.
being with a guy who identifies as hotter than you? Like, no, no,
You lose
sir.
all your power.
You don't want to meet my ex.
I know you're like delusional, okay, but I chose you, so here we go.
We have to be the prize. I think that's like our job.
I love being the
Totally.
prize.
Yeah, I agree. But it's hard with like men in LA. Like they think they're like
That's true.
really cool and hot. And like
Oh,
They're like, look at my car. You're like, okay, you have rims on a Honda. Good job. I think it came from that. I think it came from the place like that. I don't think you bought them.
Dave, like, I one thing I love about him is that he really does not spend money on himself. Like, he has no self-confidence. So he just like
That's her favorite thing.
he has like shitty car, just like
But I
does-
think you guys are gonna like drop cash on your kid.
that's what my mom keeps saying. I don't think so. We're getting all of our nursery from IKEA. We're like, this shit, it doesn't last long.
IKEA's
totally,
cute.
because the kids
Yeah.
grow so
Yeah.
quickly.
Why would we invest in like a nice nursery or whatever? Oh, but so last night I was thinking, I was finally like, I guess it would be kind of nice to be with a man who like had nice stuff that I could like share. We could share our lives with, but yeah, this is what I chose. I chose the Honda Civic for life.
Well,
That's
you
what
don't
I
wanna
have,
date a
Honda
guy-
Civic, but
You
I have like
do?
a brand new one, and I'm really into it. I love Honda Civics.
I have a brand new Toyota Corolla.
They're
and
really
I
nice.
fucking
They're
love it.
amazing. Yeah, they're so fast. They're so
yeah, Teslas are faster. But I'm so sorry, guys. I had a Honda too, and it was fun and fast. And then I got the Tesla, and I'll never go back. Never go back.
good. Yeah, I just feel like such an asshole douchebag if I got a Tesla. Like,
Oh, that's the best part.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the best part. You cut people off, and you're not there for their reaction. It's like you manage those emotions. I'm gone, baby. I'm no longer around you. Come find me. Yes, I'm doing my makeup.
I feel my Toyota Corolla identifies as a Tesla.
I would love to see you climbing into a Tesla. You'd be so cute in a
Can
Tesla.
I just say,
we should get
really-
you the Tesla, the X where the doors go up. That's a good mom car.
The Toyota
Oh.
Corolla really is legit, though. I'm obsessed with that car because my mom has one.
It's so
actually the exact
good.
same one as
Toyotas
yours.
rule. I had Toyotas my whole life. They absolutely fucking rule.
I get in it and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is
Or Hondas, sorry.
I like Hondas. I've had Hondas like my whole life.
I
and
always
like
had
them.
Camrys like that, and then I had a weird thing happen where I had to switch to Hondas, and I was like, it was good, but it was like I did miss my.
What do you mean a
Toyotas.
weird thing?
It was like a documentary that I did. I was in the Comedy Store documentary, and they wanted to do a storyline where this old comic from the Comedy Store who was working as a car salesman now at Honda was gonna like. The Comedy Store was gonna like hook me up with this car. So I went to Alan Bursky at Ocean Honda, and they sold me a car that was so much more expensive than the Toyota I had, and put me out so bad. And it was like a gas guzzler, and it was to the point where it was like it was a problem, and there was no storyline about it.
Oh,
And I just had a car. I was like, I just signed a lease. There was no help. I forgive and I forget. And guys, watch the Comedy Store documentary on Showtime. Episode 4 and 5 are the cutest.
There will be nothing about the Honda Civic in the
There
show.
you will not know anything, but you may see some tension.
What was the cool boy car in high school? Like for me, it was if you had
Jetta.
It was a hatchback.
Yes.
It
That was the shit. when I was
Yes.
Jetta?
Or a
A
Volkswagen.
Jetta.
A
No
Volkswagen.
way.
Everyone had a Jetta. Everyone
Yeah, Jetta,
wanted
the
a
hot guys
Jetta.
had Jettas.
I mean,
I would have
Yeah.
never
It was just
guessed Jetta.
everyone.
It might have
high
been
school.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
every motherfucker has a Jetta.
For us, it was the Honda, but the hatchback.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
we would have thought that
interesting.
I would have been like, that's it.
Really?
Yeah.
Acuras were cool.
Lexus was king.
And then a lot of my friends had like the old Mustangs. Those were cool, like the muscle cars.
My friend Alex, who was a drug dealer who was like making like, I think maybe RIP, but
R.I.P.
we're not sure. Most of the kids from my high school are no longer with us. But
She's not
he
really
drove a-
old. She just went to like a school for bad kids.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
they're elderly.
yeah.
I'm
She's not
97
like-
years old. I'm the class of 97, not because of the year, but because of my age. But so yeah, he drove a Lexus. That was like, and he made like $50,000 selling coke. Like he was like the cool guy. But guys, it didn't turn out well for him. So I'm gonna tell you now, you shouldn't be making 50 grand a month in high school. You might not
guys
make
have
it.
Jobs
Holy
in
shit, 50 grand a
Pennsylvania?
month in high school?
It was crazy. It was
I would be
crazy.
dead, too,
It was
if I
crazy.
did
Everyone was
Jobs.
dead.
What are
Yeah.
Also,
jobs?
his mom, Asab was cool.
Yeah, Saab was
Kind of
so
girly
hot.
though.
Was Saab-
But you're from Vermont. Vermont's different.
What do you mean? They
Like
have
a
Saabs all
Volkswagen
over the
Rabbit
East
would
Coast.
be cool there.
My dad did this crazy thing that I will never forget. The first time we came to America from the Philippines, I was a teenager, and he was really proud about this car that he had purchased for the family, which was like a French car called a Renault. And I'm telling you, it was like the only Renault in Los Angeles, and it broke down like the second day we were here.
There wasn't a Renault.
There was
place to
Okay,
take
I
it.
Yeah, no,
remember-
it wasn't practical,
Dealership.
but it was.
No, it wasn't. But like my dad was really into Saabs too, because he was like, they make
Yes.
planes or something like that. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like
That's good
very
branding.
European. Yeah.
My dad was into sobbing. There was a lot of cries. I've been trying to get that edge that one in for a while when she brought up sobs. I'm sorry, guys.
That's what I thought at first too, which Saabs is like, oh.
Like, yeah, cars. My boyfriend that I dated freshman year of high school, who basically ruined my life. He took my virginity on a waterbed. He was in prison for years, heroin,
Whoa.
not for fucking me. But he had a Dodge Neon. It was like red, and he had rims on it, and he would wear like his hat, like kind of like on top of his head, and he would lean back his seat so you could only see like the little button on the top of his head, and he would be like driving like this, Brad. And he would come in and we're like, Brad's so cool. He's so awesome. And then he told the whole school I fucked like a dead fish, which I think is fucked up when I was literally swimming. I was on a waterbed. It's like,
That is
not
such
cool.
a mean thing
It
to
ruined,
say.
it actually ruined my life. It made me so insecure to fuck people.
But
I was
also,
oh,
like,
fuck shit on me.
okay, can I just say though,
was
to defend, not to
Defend Brad?
defend Brad or men who talk like shit about like women, but like the stuff that I've said about men to like my girlfriends, like he
Yeah.
obviously told everyone that, like out, like that's
Well, the school
fucking
had
as
17
asshole.
kids graduating class, so he just had to say it, whisper it once, and the whole
Yeah,
school
but that's
knew.
like
Makes
fucked up,
sense.
right? But
Yeah.
like I think you've actually mentioned this on a show where it's like we say worse things and more
Yes.
explicitly and with
Yeah.
more detail to each other about our sex stuff than men ever do.
I wonder though,
Yeah.
is it a reaction to having been talked shit on for me? Is it
Yeah.
like, okay, this motherfucker did this, and I'm telling tell every centimeter.
Also, dead
Yeah.
fish was such an insult for us when we were younger, right?
I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
trying my
like,
best. I'm 14 years old. I can barely ride a bike. I learned how to ride a bike 3 years ago, dude.
Like
What
I
the
remember
hell?
a guy
Also a
telling me
source of
one
tips.
time, like, no, he didn't tell me. He told a bunch of our friends, he was like, yeah, you know, she was like fun to fuck, but she didn't have enough ass. And I was like, and this guy was
Ooh.
so fucking ugly. Like probably of all the guys I've ever fucked, the ugliest guy I've ever fucked in my life. And he had the fucking nerve. I thought I was like, this was a charity case. I thought I was like being Mother
Yeah.
Teresa and being like, you know what? Bleep his name out. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give looks like he hasn't been laid in a while. I was like, I'm going to fuck his ugly ass.
Talk shit to you and bleep that out again, but
And then we had sex, and he told a bunch of my guy friends, like, yeah, she just didn't have enough of
I love your ass.
ass for
I
me.
love your ass.
And I'm like, the fuck, bro? You didn't have enough dick for me. There's a lot of things you were missing, but I
you
wasn't
didn't have
telling.
enough chin.
Oh,
your
he was
gums were
so
too big.
interesting that like people in high school were saying that like when you fuck them because everyone that I had sex with in high school like never said anything. I don't know. I mean at least it never got back to me
Yeah.
and maybe that's why I became a
Same.
porn star because I was so confident in my
Yes.
sex abilities.
I'm thinking that well, you're saying that girls say worse about. I think guys are worse.
No, because guys are not as detailed. Like when we say stuff
I think
to
they
each
are
other-
detailed. I've heard even men have talked to me about guys or girls that they fucked, and it's like fucked up. I'm like, why are you saying this?
Yeah, like what I've heard my guy friends say, and I'm always like, I don't say stuff like this.
Like what?
Not even to you guys. Like I don't feel the need. Like even like the person I was with who had a MP micro
master plan.
I like have positive. I found positive reviews. of
Right.
I
that
think it's not necessarily.
experience.
I'm not talking about shit talking. I'm talking about the details we exchange with each other about the sex that we're having.
Oh, I feel like I like will like shit talk, but to my friends, I'm not gonna like go to his friends and be like,
Right.
"You want to know
That would
something
be
about your
funny.
friend?" You know, like
Yeah.
That would actually be amazing.
0 out of 10. Go tell him.
I think I've done that. I think a guy who gave me BV, I was like, he needs to wash his dick more. I think I like told everyone in Santa Fe.
I mean, that's like, but that's
I
just
was
like
like, but I'm
public
like-
health announcement.
I'm like, tell your
Yeah.
friend to wash his dick. Like, what the hell, dude?
Yeah, I
if they
feel.
gave you something, that's fair. That's
BV,
PSA.
I'm smelling
How
up
do
the
you
whole
get
fucking town.
that?
His like famunda cheese. It was like he wasn't like he didn't wash his fucking uncircumcised dick enough. And he was so mad at me because he tried to fuck me for so long, and and it was good sex, but then it was nasty. I'm like, ew, you left me with a fish fillet.
I just
I
heard
smelled so nasty. It was so gross.
guys talk about everything. It's like, and this is what I just tell them, like they'll complain about like different kinds of smells, or the girl they hooked up with wasn't clean enough, or
I just did that.
what?
It's just funny because I just did that about him.
Oh, yeah, but I don't I don't know. I always tell I'm
Yeah.
like, you guys are gay. Like, you just don't like vaginas.
I think
When
a
you
lot
talk
of guys
about
There
are
was
gay.
this guy in porn that I loved working with who would tell me that like he couldn't get as turned on when a girl was like super clean. Like she like douched a lot and like wore a bunch of perfume that like his dick wouldn't get as hard because she didn't like smell like a natural woman.
Like a
I like
Yeah,
that.
no, I
I
get
like
that.
when guys are like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
When they want you a
That's-
little
That's definitely
stank.
the preference
Not like
of the
smelly,
show.
Yeah,
stinky,
but
just,
like a
smell
little,
like a
like,
natural
yeah.
person.
I almost feel like that was a problem. The guy that I'm seeing now has just no body odor, and I'm like a kid, like scratch and sniffing, like scratch and sniff stickers. I do that. Like I keep searching for a scent because I'm like I need to know that you stink a little or you have like some type of like odor about you, but he just doesn't. And Bobby didn't either.
And is
No
it-
body odor, nothing.
Do you think he's like cleaning himself a lot before he
No,
sees you?
it's not. It's like it's
Genetic?
genetic.
And he has a ruggedy job too, so he would have a smell.
No, he works in an office.
How
Oh.
can
Yeah,
you
yeah.
The
tell?
office of the ruggedy
Yeah,
job. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Annie, like I was like, Annie has like a fantasy that she masturbates to your.
No, I was
love
right,
life.
right?
You're right, yeah,
but he
yeah,
does the office job of the ruggedy.
Yeah. No, but Bobby had the same thing where it was like he just never had body odor because some Koreans, some Asians don't. I found it to be really unfair. But
Wow.
Yeah, no, it sucks when there's a smell in the room and it's not mixed. You're like, oh, it's just me. Oh fuck.
I wonder what I smell like. I feel like I just can't tell. Like, I always like trying to like smell myself and like ask people if like I smell or whatever. And they're like, no, but like obviously they're just being nice. And
but
I
do you
just
find
really
that you have a
wonder.
keen sense of smell for like other things around you?
Yeah, but I feel like I have like a pretty like my nose isn't really that sensitive. Like I can deal with like bad smells
Oh
and stuff.
yeah,
I
you
don't
can.
know.
That's right.
Yeah, because that is interesting because
that's
like
a good thing.
sensory adaptation really is a thing, right?
Yeah.
Because there are people who do not smell their own BO, and it is very,
so
very
weird.
strong.
That's
and you're
what
like,
I constantly worry
how?
that that's me.
It's
Oh no, I worry
not,
about
it's
that
not.
too.
Yeah.
Someone would tell you.
Okay.
I think if you're a pretty girl, someone will tell you.
Okay.
I think if you're like a nasty big dude, people are like, you're already a nasty big dude. So who gives a shit? Except I do tell people, like, there's some people that work in my area who are really, and I'm like, you can't smell like this. This is crazy. Or I make jokes or whatever. But I had a friend when I had a TV show, 4 episodes. You guys might have missed it. It was on E. I hired a writer on it, and he had such bad BO that I had to pull him aside, and I was like, I just want to help you for your next writing job. Like, you have to, like, when you take your shirt off at night and you wash it, you have to scrub the armpits, then wash it. Then you can't just take a piece of clothing off the ground and put it back on.
How did he take it?
Yeah.
He acted like kind of insulted at first, and I was like, I need you to really know that I'm telling you this to help you.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it sounds like there's almost you can't win in that conversation.
Okay, so this is how I felt. We were at the E building, and there was a moment where he was on the elevator with Maria Menounos, and I went, I did something weird. It's like the butterfly effect when they go back in time, and like I felt like I like shifted history by having the two of them on the same elevator. Like I was like, these people were never supposed to meet, and now nothing will be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's an earthquake
So
somewhere.
you
because
felt
of
like
this.
this responsibility.
I just also he was going into like a more serious writer's room afterwards, and I just wanted to, and I knew his boss there was going to be like actually very mean about it, so I was like, I really was trying to do him a solid.
Do you
and help
think
him out.
he was
He
able
still smells like shit.
Yeah, I feel like people that smell bad, no matter what you tell them to do, they're still gonna smell bad because
Yeah.
like it's just inherently them.
And as long as I'm not next to them on an airplane, which has happened to me before, I'm usually cool with
But
it.
Yeah.
there is this theory that sometimes like I often think about, which is like, do people smell or our biologies just don't match? Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
have found that couples, say for instance, I had one of my high school best friends and her husband both had really bad breath, but they had the same flavor of bad breath, but they really liked each other.
Mhm.
And so I was like, oh, like this sort of like makes sense that maybe they don't like smell it on each other, and maybe my breath to them just is really unattractive. So it's like I think there is like an element of like just
Pheromones,
biologically
yeah.
matched or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
for some smells? Yeah.
For some, yeah,
Not
obviously
like-
not all.
Not like, you
Disease.
didn't wipe well.
Eee, I hate the way you
what a
said
nightmare.
that.
What a nightmare.
I hate the way you
What
said
a
that, Esther.
nightmare.
Wait, you're a
Uh,
poop girl. I thought you'd love that one.
Oh, I come in with my skid marks. I say, get ready, baby. Let's go. No, I will, for the sake of having an argumentative, a good balanced panel, I will be the poop girl. But if I were to
You
take
were
a
the
thong
hemorrhoid
off,
girl last time. You keep taking the.
I'll take it, guys. I'll take it. I've got my man. I'm good. I'm good.
You gotta study. It's okay to be the poop and hemorrhoid girl.
There has to be representation for everyone, and I'm here for you.
Are we doing the last thing we Googled thing?
Yeah,
Stella?
I think it'd be
Should I
fun to
get
do.
my phone?
Yes.
Okay.
The last thing I Googled was the baby list showroom, which is so sad.
The last thing I Googled was food near me, and then I Googled myself, and then I Googled Maru Coffee Los Feliz, and then I Googled Aralda Vintage, then I Googled BMI calculator.
You're such an LA queen.
That is
for
as
that
LA as
lineup.
LA gets. Maru, BMI calculator, and what was the
Googling yourself. is
Googling
so good.
yourself?
Looking at yourself is good.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is the ultimate LA like check-in, I think.
Yeah, totally. And that's like every day for me, honestly.
Mine is peace and love based community sound bath. That's kind of LA.
Very Annie.
That's kind of LA. Let's
For
see.
sure.
Okay, my last three are this year's influenza virus, or this year's flu shots efficacy, which is at 52%.
Yeah,
I-
I got it and then got the flu. So
Okay, yeah, so it's 52%. And then the next thing was a bakery that has the snow puffies. After that, I Googled, these Bottega Veneta sunglasses.
ooh.
I was looking at houses, a 5-bedroom, or no, 5 baths, 5-bedroom for $6 million.
Oh, Lord, is that the range you're looking at, Annie?
I'm just looking, have a little fun. 6 million for a 5-bedroom. There was a QR code on this one house, and then these are all of theirs, and I went, oh, okay.
Whose BMI are you calculating? Chloe?
Mine's.
Wait, I want
Every
to talk
day?
to you about food and what
Daily.
your
I do. I have some kind of obsession, you could say.
diet and exercise, baby. Tell us everything.
Okay, so I mean, I've thought about this a lot. I used to always say like I used to say that I just like eat whatever I want, and like because I thought that was like it was really unethical to be like, oh, I thought it was unethical to like show that to like younger people and stuff, or like more vulnerable people, that like you do certain things to look a certain way. But like now I feel like it's actually more ethical to just be honest about it. And like I do like diet like a lot, and like I exercise a lot, but I mostly exercise through walking because it's like the
Esther,
only
a win
thing.
for Esther.
My
Dude,
favorite.
walking is like the only thing that like keeps my weight down and like keeps me toned and stuff. Like everything else I do just like doesn't work well enough for me. Like running also works, but like I prefer walking. And and I have like crazy eating habits. Like most days I don't eat anything until 5 p.m. and then I'll stop eating at 10 p.m.
Okay.
And it's like a 5-hour fasting
Yeah.
window. And like I just like having the control and stuff. And like I also have like an obsession with like my body and what I look like and like how people perceive me, that like I just, I refuse to like really let myself like, I try to eat like one meal a day usually, and like I just refuse to let myself like get carried away and start like snacking all the time. And like, because anytime I have, like, I literally just feel so guilty about it, like so bad about it, that like it feels cleaner to me to just drink like my black coffee in the morning and then nothing until 5 p.m. And I don't know, it just feels good. And I like having the control, and like it just feels, I don't know, I just enjoy the control that I have over it and like controlling it. And like I like being like skinny for some reason. It just like fulfills me, even though like I like have body dysmorphia and like I don't feel like I'm skinny, but like I like being like, having like a low BMI or whatever. Like it just makes me feel better about myself,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't know.
think that's super relatable. I think I spent most of my 20s just being like hyper fixated on every single calorie. Like I
Yes.
knew the nutritional like the nutritional label of like ketchup. Like I knew how much sugar,
Totally.
like how many net carbs, because I was like hardcore into Atkins before they like repackaged it as like keto or whatever. And even today, right? Like I was at the doctor's before this, and I don't owe a weighing scale because I do know I have that disordered kind of like mentality like around food and exercise. And I was like, don't weigh yourself. I was like, you can't escape that. They have to weigh you at the doctor's. And I almost had a fucking meltdown. As soon as I saw my weight, I not only cried, I had to call my sister. She had to console me. And I was like, do I really look that big? Like how, like I just like full on just like hating myself.
Whoa.
And I hate that thing like will now dictate like the rest of the week. Cause I was actually feeling sort of nice when I woke up. But I totally know what you mean. And I think that, you know, a lot of things in my childhood led to the fact that maybe like I had no sense of control, but this is the one thing I could control, which is like diet and exercise. So I throw it all in there, and I'm a lot better now, like, cause I'm, you know, almost 40, but in my 20s, like, my God, like I would run until I would lose all my toenails, like over exercise and then like restrict. And, you know, like I get it, but thank you for not pretending that, oh, I'm just, you know,
I eat pizza.
Yeah, and eat whatever.
I eat like pizza, but it's like one or
You
two
do the one
slices,
meal
and
a
that's
day.
all
Yeah,
I eat
yeah,
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
and you
like,
probably clock it. It's
Yeah,
something that you've
exactly.
thought about very, you
Yeah.
know, I totally get that. Like, I think I'm sort of just like, you know, there are people on one side of the fence who are like, you know, we shouldn't be talking, you shouldn't be openly expressing like things that you're disordered about or even saying that out loud. But it's like, no, I'd rather have people fucking tell me so I don't feel so fucking alone in my food obsession, my exercise obsession.
Well,
Yes.
I want to throw my hat in the ring and say that being pregnant is really fucked up for your body image because there's so much pressure to not be insecure or not speak out about it because it's like, this is when you're growing a baby, like you're supposed to, this is healthy, but it doesn't, that all that can be true, but it doesn't also mean that I'm not like
feeling away.
Yeah, looking at certain things. And obviously I'm, you know, all of the things, it's beautiful and I'm happy to be putting on weight and just want a healthy baby. But like, it's still hard. It's still like, I still look at other women's bodies who are skinny and I'm like, I want to be that right now.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me, Esther? That is so fucking real because one of my biggest hangups about when I think about getting pregnant is my vanity.
Yes,
Like,
100% for me.
I hate that it is that way, and I wish I didn't have to like say it out loud because people are like, well, you know, your body is meant for this. It can handle this, and be proud of your tiger stripes. And it's like, you know what? I have a hard enough time with my body not being pregnant. Like, I know I'm going to be really hard on myself. And yeah, I am vain in that way.
Yeah, and your nipples are going to get so
and it's
big and
so
chewed
I
up and-
again like like
I love how you're like the expert on all the damage, the body damage, but you've never been pregnant.
I've clocked,
You're like,
I've clocked it. I've been thinking about it. I'm the oldest. I'll just take that as the oldest. I'm the oldest of the crew. I had a thing happen to me over Thanksgiving, one of the brother-in-laws that was hanging out with us we were at the Jersey Shore. He was doing cold plunges in the morning. So he had, like, my mom and I went, my mom's in her 70s, to go do a cold plunge. So we were just going in naked, and he's like a photographer. He's like, do you want me to film it? And I was like, whatever healthy thing will happen from me going into this cold plunge will be taken away for you filming my fat ass after Thanksgiving, running into there will be nothing of this. And I'm so happy with that. He took a picture from afar away and I zoomed in and I went, oh my God, you can still tell. But
I do just, and I also want to say, like, if you're out there and you're pregnant or whatever, like, yeah, it's okay to still have all of our same old body image issues. And like, obviously we have to work on them. But then there's this additional spotlight where you're like, oh, is everyone going to be like, let's see how much she gains while she's pregnant? Like, I just feel
the snapback.
that. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, like, it's just a lot on me. And I just really respect you being so honest about the way you feel about your body and like the way you're eating. I really like commend you for that. I think that's cool as fuck because remember that moment on TikTok where all of a sudden there was like all these videos of Megan Fox actually being honest about what she ate, and we're all like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's not just I play with my kids and the weight falls off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, we unfortunately have to wrap it up.
This was so fun.
But thank you so much to our
Crazy,
dream
Chloe.
girl,
Come back.
Chloe
Oh,
Cherry.
definitely. This was amazing.
my
You
God,
guys
we
are
love
all
you.
so
Perfect
funny.
angel girl on Instagram, right?
Yep.
We love her. We love her on Euphoria, and we love her her diet.
And all
And we're praying for a renaissance of that peeing in public.
OnlyFans.
Honestly, what
OnlyFans.
you're really gonna get is just a bunch of really sick movies that I've been in. I've been in a
Yes.
bunch of movies, not like a bunch, like it's not like 100, but it's
Yeah.
like 5.
No, that's
That's
amazing.
100.
And it's gonna
That's
be
100.
great. Yeah,
That's
that's
100.
100.
We can't wait to see all the indies
It's so
that you've been working on.
exciting.
That's
Yeah.
the best. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
I'm so excited because like they were all just so fun to work on, and they're all gonna be really good. And I think they're gonna be like Moonlight level indies.
Yes. And
Perfect.
congratulations, dude. This
Thank
is
you.
so cool.
And I
So
have
incredible.
more indies planned. Like I have a bunch more booked. Like I'm gonna be busy in 2024 shooting movies, and I'm hoping that I shoot an indie movie every month, like every other month. Like that's what or like a regular movie, like any kind of movie. I just want to shoot a movie every other month for the rest of my life, or like until I'm 80.
I love it.
We love it. We love our indie darling, Chloe Cherry, and we'll see you guys next week with a brand new episode. That's amazing.
That was so good. That was so good.